Hey, what's up, people? Dimitry here. Welcome to a new Inspiria Guitars live stream episode. This is episode number 7. Hopefully you hear me. Hopefully you heard this song. This song was Your End, My Beginning from my new album, which is called The Revolution of Evolution, which has been released a couple of months ago, September 21st, yes. And it's going pretty good. I had a lot of good reviews, you know, in the press and stuff like that. And this is basically the first this song live, even though I'm thinking to include this song in my next concert, which, by the way, will be, I think, at night, because I just came back from a very successful trip to China, where I played at Music China, which is a very big trade show in Shanghai, China, of course. and where I represented my company Inspiria Guitars, and I worked for Houghton Audio, which is one of my sponsors, together with Zico Strings. In fact, we just released this string pack, which is the first one we did with Inspiria, together with Zico Strings. And basically the strings I have on this guitar are those strings here. Even though this is only a 6-string pack, we started with this, and we'll see how it goes. Probably we're gonna add some for the guitar players who like more extended range guitars, like me, of course. But by the way, we have, of course, a guest today, and maybe it would be time to bring him on. Is a friend of mine called Hugh Stevenson, and he is also an Inspiria Guitars artist, which has been together with us now for some months. Let me bring him on so we can talk directly to him. Hey, Hugh.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
How are you doing today?
Great light.
Or tonight?
I haven't seen with that light before. You have a green light, which is
Yeah, I got a green and blue light, and then the halo. Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
So, how you doing? All good?
All good. The weather's kind of dreary here today, but I got guitar to cheer me up.
Yes, and the same here. Actually, today has been pretty good, even though if it's sunny here. Up here, I live in Norway. It means it's way colder than usual. So when it's kind of cloudy, it might be a little bit milder. Yeah. So you have been together with us for a while now. Maybe with Inspiria Guitars, before we talk about the endorsement and the guitar and all this, maybe you can talk a little bit about yourself. Where are you based? You are, of course.
I'm in Centerville, Virginia. I'm in the U.S. I'm in Centerville, Virginia. It's outside of Washington, D.C., about 35, 40 minutes outside of Washington, D.C.
You're from that area?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And how long did you play the guitar for up to this point?
Been playing, I think, first picked it up in 1986. So I was 16 years of age, and I plunked around, tried to learn stuff out of like Guitar Player magazine and any tablature I could get my hands on, which wasn't a lot back then. You had to, like I said, go buy a magazine.
Yeah.
And took lessons from various people.
For example? I know that you work now with Matthew Mills. We're going to talk.
Yeah, Matthew Mills is my current teacher. I've actually been friends with him for, let's see, I'm trying to think now. We thought about it the other day, and I was like, man, I feel old. Well, I've been knowing him for over 16 years now, but he was always wanting to give me lessons, but I just had other things going on with work and stuff like that. But I've had, there's a guy in high school, Sid Sosa. He's on West Coast now, but he taught me a bunch of stuff. He's one of those guys that figured it out early on how to do sweeping and stuff like that. Okay. When Yngwie came out, and everybody was blown away in high school, so he was the rock star of high school. And
I think back in the day it was very difficult to kind of emulate the pioneers of the genre. When Eddie Van Halen came out, the tapping and also the sweep picking with Yngwie Malmsteen and all this. So of course nowadays all the technique is available to everybody. I mean, if you want to practice, but the information is there, so you just need to go and find it. But back in the day, of course, I started to play guitar in the 90s, 1993. And also at that time was pretty difficult. I mean, everything was based on the ear training. We were kind of figuring out the scales by ear and all this. The information was there, of course, but it costed money. And if you were like a teenager, it was very difficult to get a hold of those books and stuff like that. But
yeah, and there's a lot of books that were terrible. There's a lot of books that they just wanted to publish something, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Well, there might be even more nowadays because more and more people are making books. Even though we're not talking about books and almost anymore.
Well, now it's people online, videos going out, and I'm like, I don't like that guy's technique. Or there's an easier way to play that.
And but so I guess you approached a lot of different kinds of music during the years. What did you start with rock music or with jazz or other things?
Oh man, I try to Cliff's note it. I heard so many great musicians and guys my dad knew. My dad played 5-string banjo, played bluegrass, and his friend played jazz and all this other stuff, folk and stuff. He could play anything on guitar. And let's see, there was a Joe Pass, who his techniques and stuff, he would just change your philosophy on stuff. The first guy that really, let's see, it was the 70s when I was listening to music, so it was like, Zeppelin, Southern rock, uh, Black Sabbath. I'm trying to think. This When I heard ACDC, Angus Young is one that just blew my mind, and I think if I was to say anybody who really made me want to play guitar was Angus Young. He was just
So
this. I didn't know much of him, but what I read, he was improvising a lot of stuff, and just
still
for him to pull that stuff out of
today.
thin air,
Yeah.
it's incredible. He still blazes.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean,
then I heard Ingve.
I never seen AC/DC live, but now I guess it's a bit late. But they are still playing some gigs here and there. I don't know how many people are in the band for sure. Angus is there, and then the other people around they change sometimes. But I know they are coming to Norway probably next year. The only problem is that those concerts they get sold out like this, so it's very difficult to
Oh
find
yeah, they snatch the tickets up now.
nowadays. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
back in the day, you could find the tickets until like 2 months to the concert or whatever. But now
And it was a lot cheaper.
yeah, yeah, also that. So ACDC probably is the band that that make you starting playing the guitar was ACDC. You would say?
It wasn't. It was, well, the '80s had Rat, and you had Dokken. Then there was Queensryche. Of course, Deep Purple was always littered through there because Richie Blackmore is another one I was like, wow. And I didn't know how much he influenced, or like he actually did a lot for generations of players
Yeah,
with
I mean,
stuff he did, like having the keyboardist follow the guitar part, kind of like how Ingve does. And so it was like, I didn't know anything about music when I was hearing it. I just knew I liked it.
yeah. I mean, that was the beginning, I guess. A lot of different bands then took that to next level. Ingrid Malmsteen was one of those. But there was even like
Well,
Iron Maiden. They had the same
oh
idea
yeah, Iron Maiden, yes.
of the harmonizing the solos and stuff like that. I guess everything started from there. So uh, yeah, and what do you listen to nowadays? Let's say.
Well, this you can't leave Paul Gilbert out. Paul Gilbert's like done so many albums, and it's sick how he can just wield the guitar like it's a magic wand. He just I saw him playing a double bass or a cello, or whatever. Has it in his lap, and he's playing it like a guitar. And I'm just
Yeah.
dying laughing because he's like, what, 6'4"? I was like, I wouldn't be able to reach half of what he does on that guitar. I
Yeah,
mean, on the bass.
I saw him a couple of times, and
I've
lately
never seen him live.
well, I
I've never seen him
saw
live.
I saw him during I think it was a clinic and probably a jam session, at the guitar festival close to here. But it
Oh,
was very
cool.
impressive. I mean, I think the first thing that you get is, of course, the sound and the technique, and he's unbelievable. Also at that age, because even though he kind of looks still younger in a way, but I think he's might be in his 60s, I guess. You know.
Yeah, I forget exactly how old he is now, but yeah, he's aging well.
Yeah, exactly. And recently, actually, I saw a video interview. He was playing a lot with slides, so I started to do the same. But the way he used that, it was more for he was playing a lot of melodies from cover songs, like vocal melodies, and he came up with. And now he used that all the time. He has it here on the guitar.
Yeah, there's a magnet. He put the magnets in the body.
So, and he used that for kind of emulating the legato of the vocals,
The
and
vocals, yeah. He said he couldn't. His vocal range isn't there, so he wanted to be able to hit the notes they hit.
yeah, and I got very good ideas to playing in the new album because I had these lights since I was probably 16. But I bought it one day, and it's not just from one day to another when you become a slide player. So and then I just forgot I had that, and I was like, oh, I have one of those, so let's see if I can do something. And I did something very basic, but it's good to have one or two songs with slide in an album.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Ry Cooder?
Who?
Ry Cooder. He's
No,
he did he's a renowned slide player. If you want some ideas for listening stuff to listen to, he did the slide work or the guitar work on the movie Crossroads with Steve Vai.
okay. So he's the
He did all the slide work.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and he actually helped what's his name, Keith Richards, with his guitar playing because he ran into him at a festival and he showed him how to do alternate tunings.
Oh
So
yeah.
Keith Richards, he didn't know anything about alternate tunings really. A lot of this is before YouTube, like you brought up earlier. I actually wanted to jump in when you were talking about that. That without YouTube and all this stuff, a lot of the playing techniques developed out of just not knowing. You wanted it to sound a certain way, kind of like Mark Knopfler
Yes.
with using a thumb pick and his middle finger, polyrhythm picking. It was just he just brainstormed it, or maybe he saw someone doing it. I don't know how he came up with it. I've never looked that up.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna check it out. But I just got this idea from Paul Gilbert, and I'm never gonna get like I'm not never gonna become like a slide player. But it was good to just have some different sound in the album, and I tend to kind of see people doing things and then get inspiration and then I do it my own way, so I end up somewhere else, because in a way or another it needs to fit the music, so but yeah, going back to us, now you're studying with Matthew Mills, so maybe you can talk a little bit about what you guys are doing, usually if there is any subject that you are actually working on, any material, any new music or whatever.
Well, I have a lot of great ideas, and we talked about this before. How you're a complex
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
and I tend to complicate things. But Matt's he's now nailing me down to we're going to get one done because I have tons of ideas that I throw at him and go, "What do you think of this?" And he's like, "Okay, well, what we're doing is kind of like the groundwork or the course that I'm taking with my lessons and stuff." Is to try to it's like a memorization technique, like
Hmm.
learning the modes. So you have
Oh yeah.
to put the modes into them. And one thing I learned is that Paul Gilbert, when he writes his songs, he tries to put every mode into them, like the song technical difficulties.
Yeah.
He uses every mode. He uses all 7 modes, and I'm not to that level yet. But the one I'm got the most complete is the one I'm going to perform a bit of today, is because it's not done yet. I don't have a nice closing, to package it all together. But it's called Gin in the Bottle, and that one there is mixing, well, natural scales and harmonic minor, and I
Nice.
just love that you can blend those in there if you do it tastefully.
Yeah.
It's kind of a balancing act. I didn't know this, but there's musicians that do that, like Santana. He'll put in harmonic minor, but you don't even hear him doing it. He puts it in there real sneakily. But
So
that's pretty much I'm learning arpeggios and stuff like that. He's teaching me a lot. He loads me up, and I've been spending months trying to get my fingers to do what he's teaching me.
yeah, yeah, because and that's good because I believe that first should come the musical idea and then the technique after it. I'm but this idea that I have, it's gets kind of lost a lot in nowadays world because people focus way too much on the technique, forgetting like the musicality that is supposed to be the main thing because we are
Yeah, like
music
you mean like
creators.
being flashy? You mean some people being flashy, like doing the
Flashy, yeah. I
you
mean,
it,
it's okay to do
it
crazy
looks
stuff,
cool.
Yeah, it looks cool,
Yeah,
but I think that everything should start here first, and then
yeah,
learn how to kind of play it, and then you can arrange it in a lot of different ways. Instead, it looks like a lot of people are more interested into the physical and you know the show kind of side. But anyways, you talk about the song that you're gonna play, so maybe you can play the song, and then we can talk about the composition and the production of that, if you want.
Yeah, okay. I can
Yeah.
kind of explain how
The
how I went about it.
the song is called.
It's gin in the bottle, but it's like a genie, so it's DJINN,
Mhm,
and it's actually I was going to call it Ghost in the Bar,
mhm.
and I showed it to another guitarist, and he was so blown away that he's not someone who gets back to you really quick. And I sent him just the raw recording, and he goes, "That is so cool." I'm like, "Dude, what are you calling me for? You got a flat tire or something? Is there an emergency?" He goes, "No, that piece is really cool." So that was my endorsement that I didn't get the but he says I said it's going to be Ghost in the Bar. He says you should call it Gin in the Bottle, like a genie in the bottle. But
Uh-huh.
then he said DJIN, and I'm like, dude, I'm stealing that. So that's how the name came about. But
Yeah.
uh, it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Like make sure my guitar.
I leave you the stage, and you play the song. Let's talk
Okay,
in a couple of minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever.
no, it's not that long. Can you hear me?
Good job. Yeah, I hear
Oh,
you.
okay, I thought maybe I was bad and he was going to turn me off.
I like that. I like the swing, the shuffle kind of groove. Maybe you can talk a little
That
bit about the
was
chords, and maybe did you get like the idea of playing the shuffle before, or you thought about the harmony behind that first?
it was more just spur of the moment. For me, I was actually practicing an arpeggio form that Matt had given me, and I was running it down one day, and I was just going. I was just doing that, and then I said, well, like you don't just play a straight scale. It's boring. So I went like, and I went something. It was like, and I was started. When you start fishing for notes, and I just came up with something that said I was trying to do. I cherry picked from Eric Johnson
Mm-hmm.
when he did Cliffs of Dover.
Mm-hmm.
He uses it's actually I had to learn how to do it because it's when you go. Let's see. This part right here, you can't have this finger stay down or it becomes a chord. So I had to go. Learn how to go. Like to pedal tone it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already been learning how to do the it's a technique Matt had showed me where you kind of it's pedal tones. That's what it is. I was making sure I had the right term. So I came up with that melody there, and then I was like, I have to come up with kind of a rhythm, and I just kept trying to figure something out that it just wasn't. Nothing was setting right with me, but I had this envision of kind of like a jazz or like a nightclub. So I started doing the whole. Wait, let me turn this off. And I was like. So as the strumming evolved, and then I was showing it to Matt, and I was just going to do 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 do, and he's like kind of just sitting there, kind of like you are right now, just nodding. And then I started strumming the chords, and then Matt goes, "Oh, it's a shuffle." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want to do." And I said, "I want to have like clean chords and have a little bit like overdrive on the lead part." And I kept trying to. This is where the struggle comes in for me because I don't have all the gear and stuff like to make things convenient. So I was trying out different software to get drum beats and bass lines and stuff like that, and also hooking up to interfaces. So this has been over months trying to do this because every time I try to do something, I hit a wall. I had bought a pedal called a trio or something like that, and the pedal, what it does is you play chords into it, and then it'll put bass and drums to it. So then you just change the genre and the tempo, and I played it into the I use a Reaper for my recording, and then what I did is I played it to when you have somebody helping you sound, they want to have the tracks separate. So that was another challenge. I kept playing it over again, but I would turn the bass up, drums down, did it again, turn the drums, turn one up, turn one down, and I separated out the bass and the drums, and then it got cleaned up over time. And that's where I was really rushing to try to get you the video, the one I did for you when I was first introducing myself to you. And that was Gin in the Bottle. That's the one I sent you. It has evolved.
It had another title, right?
I put DITB just to shorten it. Okay, yeah. Gin in the Bottle. Yeah, I called it Ghost in the Bar. When I first sent it to you, it was Ghost in the Bar. That's right. You caught me. Okay. Thank you for checking me on that. Fact checked. Yeah. All right. It was really neat to try to learn a lot of the techniques, and then like the hammer-on part that I go up the neck was actually inspired of Green Tinted 60s Mind by Paul Gilbert, because he was doing the intro for that, and when he was doing it, he wanted to do a one string. I think it's not a scale. He hammered on an arpeggio on one string, and he plays it forward and backwards when he does it. So it's kind of a challenge when I first started learning that. So I had learned some of that, and I try not to. I like to do cover tunes, but I try not to gravitate to them, because then you tend to like emulate that guitarist too much. And I'm trying to make my contribution to music.
Yeah, and it's way more enjoyable, I think. I never really like to play. I never really play a cover song the way it is. It's stronger than me. I don't know. Even though maybe I learn it the first day, the second day it just turns into something else. But we are all different. I know a lot of people that they like to play the cover songs exactly the way they are. But
yeah, and then there's some that make it their own.
Yeah, I guess.
Some will slow it down or speed it up.
People like me and you, we have more of this artistry which is coming in, more of this creativity, probably, and for me it's very impossible. So all the songs I play as a cover songs, they all sound a little bit different, but I guess that's just my philosophy about that. But
well, I share that kind of thinking.
Yeah,
I do think like that.
Do you think like you would like to add something to the song, I guess?
Yeah, I came across a saying that the guy, somebody put up, and I said I really like that, and it says, I don't play guitar because I think I'm great. I think music is wonderful, and I want to be part of it. Of course. And so that encompasses exactly my philosophy. I can't understand how someone learns all these techniques and stuff, and they're doing covers, and it's kind of like it's like painting by numbers. You're painting someone else's painting when you're doing some, and that artist, they got this, okay. But it's like also too, it's like a language, it's a conversation. I think of music as a conversation, and if someone's being too loud or too busy, it's all about them, and it's hard to play with some people. Like people who play, they're used to playing alone, so they play a lot of melodic chords. It's hard to play over that or play along with it, because they leave you no room to get in there.
Gotcha. But when you were, you said that you produced it in the beginning. You played with this pedal, which is called Trio, which I guess is a Digitech pedal. It's some
Yeah,
kind of
it is. It's
some kind of looper. I think I have the student who had that. But did you record it with, like this, or that was just a demo, and then you basically after you have the song, you just produce the song from the scratch with MIDI instruments or whatever, or what I heard it comes from the trio pedal.
the drums and the bass guitar come from the trio. The other parts I just added in the other guitar parts.
So you were
There's
able,
other stuff I want to put in there.
so you were able to extract the drums from the pedal and then
Yeah,
import it in your river. Okay, cool.
yeah. I plugged it into the interface and made sure I could hear it. You know, somehow I forget how I did it. What did I do? I had it. I put it through my amp, and I had the mic. I had the amp mic'd,
Oh
and
wow.
that's how I was able to pull it.
Uh huh.
And it's like that's a. I've got a little Mesa Boogie. Uh, this is just a little, you know, the one single 12, or I think it may be a 10-inch, but it's a powerful little amp.
Which model is that?
And it's the we call it the Boogie. It's the 10. Oh, no, it's not. Is it the 10? Yeah, it's a 10 watt. It's real small, but you can switch it around. It's the Mark V, I think.
Is it a tube amp?
Yeah, it's got the I think LED tubes.
Cool. So you are
Yeah, it's my
I mean,
Cadillac.
I guess, yeah, I guess you had a lot of amps in your life so far, but do you still play more like amps or modelers or pedals? What do you usually play with?
I have a little amp upstairs for convenience. It's a small Black Star, you know, the ones that are like lunchbox,
Oh yeah, I
and
see
it's
that.
just if I want to plug in real quick, not have to come down and move things around on because I try to keep stuff off the floor instead of having like it looks like a trap, a booby trap.
Mm.
uh, but I'm trying to get smaller stuff so when I go over to people's houses or if I go to just something that's a throw together, it's kind of annoying to take a bunch of gear for something that you're not getting paid for. So I got this little, it's made by Flat Sun. It's a KE1, and it's actually or how they got it set up. It's optimized for the cell phone. And what blew me away, it was just a dumb luck thing. Somebody said, "Hey," it was a couple weeks ago. Somebody sent it to me through Facebook, and they give us a look. And I ran it by Matt, and I'm like, "What do you think? Is this kind of a gimmick?" And he's like, "It looks like a pretty cool gadget." So I was like, "Go further in." It's like $79. I'm like, "Can't go wrong. It's a gadget. I'm a dude." So I set up 4 presets on it, and it does wonderful because you just hit save on the phone, and it remembers it to the thing. And it's actually a looper. It's got a tuner. I don't know the exact amount, but it does. You can mix and match heads and cabinets, and it has all the effects pedals and stuff like that, noise cancel or noise compression and stuff like or noise gate. Um, any of the effects, but the only thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have a wah wah or expression pedal.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think I can probably hook one in line with it. Most stuff
Yeah,
has
I
come a
mean,
long way.
yeah, most of those, let's call them modelers, pedals, whatever. They are very small. They sound great, but you can also use probably like some expression pedals, or MIDI controller with them, and add some extra features. But the whole thing is that I mean, when I was playing, before when I was playing the song, you cannot see that, but I have a very small pedal that I'm using, which is the only thing. I just use the guitar inside that, and that's it. So it's of course emulating all amps and stuff like that. It's called Valiton GP5. It's very small. This is basically the box of it. You can see
What
it's
does it
interesting.
do?
Well, it does everything you want, basically. Everything. I mean, it's not. Maybe it's not a looper, but just because it's very small, so it would be difficult to make a loop with it. But I'm not even sure because there might be a looper there somewhere. But the sound is amazing, and you can import your own IR or whatever, So nowadays it's crazy, and I was thinking, I'm gonna go to the NAM show in a couple of months, and I was wondering yesterday, should I bring only this, But it's very small. I feel almost stupid going on stage with this, but it sounds great. So you know what I mean. But I am from the amp generation. I mean, like back in
No,
the
me
day,
too.
back in the day, which
Yeah.
is not that long time ago. Actually, I was touring with stock, two hats, two cabs, 4x12, which is not good for the back, and you find out in your
Oh,
40s.
full stacks.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I had a half stack a couple about 8 years ago. And it was a Black Star, and those half stacks ain't. They're, yeah, you get a workout. That's
yeah,
why guitarists are in good shape.
yeah.
That's why guitarists have good arms because you got to pick up your amps.
So, and I still have amps, but I tend to use a lot of modulars. I have all of those. I have the camper, you name it. But
Well, I also
usually,
have I got a Boss ME90 also. It's I like it because the Boss ME90 has the analog kind of feel, the knobs on it and stuff for tweaking it. Instead of having to like hit a button and go back and
yeah.
like clicking it, you just go right to it. That's why I bought it. I liked it.
Do you usually do you have a different feeling playing an amp, tube amp, playing a modular, or you're so used that you don't really think about it?
I like amps because when you get in the headspace, and also sometimes you want to lean back towards it, get a little feedback.
Yeah,
You're gonna get the guitar to squeal, like the song "Love Hurts." You
mm-hmm.
remember that song?
Yeah,
That lead is all feedback,
yeah.
and he's just hitting, I don't know, whammy, or if he's just like kind of bending the neck or something. But that I never knew that until later on, that he would just lean into the amp and that was all feedback.
Hmm. I I feel that um, I mean usually I play modulars, but when I play amps, I get a different feeling, completely different feeling, and I believe that practicing is good with tube amps, because it's way you kind of yeah, it's in a way it's a little bit more difficult to play, which is
You
good
have to have a
for
little more. Yeah, you do have to have more control. That's
yeah.
electric
So
guitar in general.
yeah, of course,
Learning, you remember when you first got electric guitar? I mean, it probably sounded like a couple of alley cats fighting.
yeah, of course, yeah, but that was because of course I mean the high level of gain, when you're young you tend to have a lot of gain. I try to explain to
Yeah.
my students. I try to explain. I teach, and when they are young, I try to explain. But of course, I mean, I used so much gain when I was younger that I understand they don't want to hear what I say. But I say reduce a little bit. The gain is going to sound better. You have a good technique. You want people to hear what you're doing. To hear your tone instead of just having like that noise in the background all the time. But
I couldn't afford equipment for a long time, so I've played on. If you name any crappy equipment that was put out, I probably that I could afford, you probably would not miss by just throwing a dart over your shoulder backwards. You would hit that piece of crap equipment I had, or guitars that had action like that high on them
uh-huh.
that you swear you could
Well,
just fire an arrow with it.
for me, I mean, I remember back in the day. Okay, of course, when I was a teenager, I had the shitty guitar and a shitty amp. Well, a shitty guitar, not that shitty, was a Squire probably, which is okay, not the
Yeah,
best,
Fender Squire, like the Gibson Epiphone.
it, kinda.
Yeah, well,
and
it's they have their low. What do they call it? Their low cost version.
yeah, and but then when I actually moved to something a little bit more professional, I opted for having just one great guitar, one great amp, and that's it. I had no effects for many years. But I have a really good guitar and a really good amp. I had the 5150 PV, which I had it for many years, and Steve I 7 string, and that was my gear for many years. And yeah, I didn't have so many money, so I tend to use just those two tools, and yeah, and then of course, with age and stuff like that, I collected a lot of gear, but way too much now. But still good to surround yourself with gear, you know, and it's good for you know being in the studio recording and all this, because sometimes you need to change guitar if you're recording something. You feel, oh, maybe I should use something a little bit more vintage or whatever, and maybe you need to have like a Gibson Les Paul or something like that, so it's good to have
It
different
does it does make a difference. It
yeah.
does make a difference. People don't think it does, but there have been players that, how come you played that fast? Well, this guitar feels fast.
Mm.
Because it was Gary Moore. He got on. It was Rick Beato put on. He put a guitar in his hand and he went like that. And he's like, "What? You were playing slow. Now you're playing fast." And he goes, "Well, it feels like a fast guitar,"
Mm.
which I laughed because I thought, yeah, that's the way I was.
So, are you working on new material at the moment? Are you thinking Like
Yeah, I've got one that's it's a kind of I kind of hear like a ZZ Top influence in it. But when we get ready at some point, I'll play a little excerpt from it. The intro is real strong, but I got to get the rest of the body of it put together. But it's a pretty strong piece. It started out as a gag. My boss, Billy Schaefer, is just like he works on all kinds of stuff, and I was a mechanic back in the day, and so was he in our last lives. And he's building this hot rod truck, basically, modifying, like hot rod. And so I started calling it a rat rod and like asking him, "Hey, this weekend did you work on the truck?" And I said, at one point, I go, "Man, I'm gonna make you some montage music on the guitar, so you can have it playing in the shop while you're make like your song for this truck. Call it Rat Rod." And he's like, "Okay." So I came home and started messing with it, and I came up with a cool polyrhythm pick part for it and all. And it's gonna be a lot of fun when I get it done. But that's probably the one I'm gonna put energy into next.
but do you have it
And
here?
then I got it. Huh?
Do you have it here?
You want to hear it?
I mean, we can. Yeah, let's do it. If you have like something on your phone, like the backing track or whatever, you want to play it?
Well, no, I haven't got the backtrack because again, with the conundrum of that is I want to get a drum part that is a Texas shuffle, like ZZ Top. But a lot of people, a lot of drummers a lot of drummers I found out they don't like doing ZZ Top like Lagrange because of the rim shots, the way they go. They hate it. They can't make that transition, or just maybe it annoys them, or maybe it destroys their sticks or something. I don't know, but they got their reasons anyway. Let's see. So, so it kind of goes in like a feel like 12-bar blues as well.
Yeah, it's very
You know,
cool.
so
In the beginning, you play with fingers as well.
yeah, I'm using this finger here, and I'm basically doing I think it's called like drone picking. So I'm hitting E here, and I'm going. So it's also I played banjo a little bit too. So you go like this. You go thumb, first finger, ring, and then you go back this way. So it's forward roll, backwards roll. That's where I picked up on that. It was just I was like when I saw people doing it, I'm like, that's easy. It's just you're just using one finger.
Yeah, I'm playing with fingers too, but
Yeah.
it's you have a different feeling. Some stuff are easier to do, I think, and yeah, it sounds different, So it's good to vary. I don't like picking everything, so using the fingers together with the pick is a good way to kind of get the different dynamic, on the strings.
Well, it's you can pull up on the strings
Yes.
to get that.
Yeah,
That's
kind
the
of
whole point
slappy,
of it.
kind of slappy.
Oh, I never thought about it, but you just connected the dots for me. It's like Nashville pickers
Yeah.
when they're doing their one, or
Yeah.
you get that bang,
Yeah,
you give it that little
actually,
twang.
I learned that playing like blues. You know.
I
Using
have to compliment you on your tone. That guitar sounds great.
Thank you. I mean, this is
Guitarists always want the other guy's guitar.
yeah, but it's every time you have a guitar, you always find like the pro and the cons, and that's why I think it's good to have several options when you are in the studio. I tend to use just one, but in the studio I like to have several because every guitar serves a different tone in a way or another. But this is an old prototype of Inspiria guitar, so we was the one that we did before the DLP series. The one you have is the HL6, and maybe I would like to know. This is
Or you could call it the Sleepy Hollow. The Sleepy Hollow. I'll just put a pumpkin on it for Halloween. You know, a little black cape right here, make it like the headless horseman.
Well, it might be difficult to have it here because you don't have the headstock. But is there a reason? Is there a reason why when we did the endorsement and all this, you opted for a headless guitar?
Well, thanks for asking that, because I've been wanting to talk about it. I kept going like this a little bit to hint it, like I want to talk about the guitar, man.
Yeah, you know what? I tend to forget a lot of stuff, so sometimes I jump.
No, that's good, man. That shows you got a good ego. You don't have an overinflated ego. You're a humble man. I was at I just called a show. It was a small show over in Manassas, up the road from me. And Matt had told me about it. And there's another guy that I'm friends with. That's I don't know if you might know Casey Flanagan.
Yeah.
He was at NAMM. I've known him for a long time too. I think
he plays bass as well, I guess.
Oh yeah. He's a very talented guy. I met him. We turned wrenches. I mean, he worked at a Chevy dealership, but I think I met him through Matt. And anyway, what was I going to say? Casey was going to be there, and then I met Anthony Cardi.
Yeah.
And Anthony walks out with this, or no, he didn't have it. He forgot to bring a guitar stand. So now the running joke is that Anthony has like minions or like human guitar stands, people to hold his guitar when he's not playing it. So Anthony got up there and he had a great set, and I asked him stuff about the guitar and stuff, and he was just like, and watching him play it, it was really cool. And then Matt had told me about, I think it might be Zach. I can't remember. There was another guy Zach's one of your other artists, I think.
Yeah, he plays as well.
Yeah, I like a lot of different guitars. I had a Strandberg Bowden 8-string at one point. And that thing was.
So you already had like experience with headless guitar before.
Yeah, and they've been around a long time, like the Steinbergers back in the '80s, yes. Or was it '90s? I don't know. Those were really cool. Everybody thought those were really cool, especially Alan Holdsworth playing it, or Eddie Van Halen, getting the spotlight. But when I got this from you, I was like blown away how light it is and balanced, because there's certain guitars you're playing them and you feel like you're having to do curls because the headstock's or it's just not a well balanced guitar, or where they place the strap. It's just
especially 7 and 8-string guitar, because they have big headstocks, But even like you can really.
But if you place the strap, you could kind of compensate sometimes.
Yeah.
So this thing came in. I sat there for an hour or so, just playing on it and all, tune it back up a little bit, and that's actually one thing about it. I'm really amazed. It's one of my criterias or things that I like about it. If I pick it up and it's in tune, that is a big deal to me. I only have a couple guitars that are like that they hang on the wall, like acoustic and electric, that are that good. Some of them I'm like having to get the tuner out and fine tune it. But this one here, it sits on the couch actually. Like I'll play TV shows for it during the day, so it'll be happy when I get home. I'm kidding, I don't really do that. But I took it over to a friend of mine who builds amps, and he does professional level playing and stuff. He's in a Rush cover band called like the Rush Experience or something, and he builds amps, so he really knows his electronic stuff. And I put this in his hands, and he plugged it in, and he's like, "Woo, man, this thing's like a new toy on Christmas, man." He's just like wailing on it. And I'm like, "So you like it?" He's like, "Oh yeah, oh man." He's like looking at it, and he goes, "Man, it seems like it wouldn't play like this." So you got to go to endorsement someone who's knows their stuff.
Yeah, it's very ergonomic. So you really feel, because I never really been like a headless guitar guy, at all. But then when we decided to do it, we worked a lot on Les Paul kind of instruments, and we nailed down the playability. And then when we turned that guitar into headless, was way easier to play as well, So structurally, how is the headstock? I mean, taking the headstock off, does it make problems with the structure of it, or resonance, or anything? Does it?
Did you notice anything like?
Removing the headstock, you mean?
Yeah, taking the headstock off, it didn't make
I
like harder to because this is a neck through body. It's not a bolt on neck. So I was wondering, was there a challenge with that, having to, you know,
well, not
not have
really.
it
Not
lose,
really.
arch?
Not really. I mean, when I tried the guitar, I was. I should actually compare the regular DLP series together. Compare with the HL6, but I didn't really feel there was any difference in tone. Even though, I mean, there is of course a difference in tone, but I didn't think it was a
Oh no,
big
I mean
difference.
the truss rod. The truss rod. Does it? Like some guitars, you get in the truss rod. It'll it's hard to get the action right. You didn't have any problems at all with the truss rod or whatever.
Not on the headless actually. Not
Oh,
on the
cool.
Yeah. So in the beginning we had a little bit of problems, but on the some years ago on the eight-string guitar, but that's kind of complicated. We had just one of those, and then we opted for having two, so you have way more opportunity when you do the setup, way more possibilities. But on a seven-string guitar and an eight-string guitar, there is way more tension, so I guess it's the right way to go. You know.
Also, on the pickups, I got on with Matt. There was like, I don't know, one or two lessons in or something like that. I do a weekly lesson with him, and I usually am unplugged. I would just walk around the house with it and all, and just not to, basically have my wife want to divorce me. But uh, I got on with him. I hooked up, put a cool effect to it and all. And I got on her, and I'm doing my stuff, and I was just like putting a little show on for him right as we connected for our video chat. And he goes, man, that guitar sounds really good. Or the tone. He goes, the tone is really cool. And I was like, yeah, I got it at the. I'm like, yeah, I like it at the neck. And then one of the things I'll do when I get a guitar is see how it squeals. Like
Yeah.
if it can do that, it means it's not going to fight me.
Mm.
Because some guitars, you try to hit them, and there's like thud.
Yeah. And the pickups are, made at the factory, and
Well, did you design them, or did you know somebody to
I mean,
collaborate?
yeah, well, I kind of had an idea how they were supposed to be, but I like very high output pickups, but at the same time, I didn't want to go for them because I wanted to have like to have find something in between because they're people not always like high output pickups, but of course they were going to be passive because that's what I like. But let's say on this guitar I have very high output. You can hear from the and in this case I'm using a Lundgren pickup, which is a Swedish one, and that was my idea in the beginning. So we kind of took that idea, but we decided to make it a little bit more low output in order to have a little bit more dynamic. Even though it's very aggressive, so I can see that a lot of guitar players they like that pickup because it's warm and heavy at the same time, and still not too much high output, so they can still have a little bit of dynamic and headroom. I
Well,
don't know what you think.
that's well, that speaks to your point because it's like let's at the neck, and then if I go here, and this is also too is this is the one that's the punk setting or whatever. It's like usually on those on a lot of guitars when you have the different positions, this setting here is the, but this one
Yeah.
actually has. I don't know if you had like any Willy Wonka kind of set input on that. Like I want it to sound this way.
Well, we tried a couple, and then we decided to go for that. But now what we're doing, we are developing, and it's actually ready. The multi-output pickup, that probably we talked about some months ago, was still not ready at that time, which is gonna be
I
introduced
think you
next
said you
year.
had a prototype or something like that, or
Yeah, yeah, I had. I mean, I have two, but they are in the other room. The guitars probably are out
what?
soon, but I'm gonna have one at NAM, which is actually the guitar. We made the guitar now, which is called multi output. It's called M06, which is it's a shredder guitar, but with multi-output pickups. For those who are not familiar with that, both the pickups are divided into two. Now this is an A string guitar, whatever, but the pickups are divided in two parts. You know, you have like those three strings and those three strings up here, and you can actually mix up this part of this pickup of the neck pickup together with this part of the bridge pickup and vice versa. So you have way more combinations, you know. And
I have a confession to make.
yeah,
when I first was dealing with you and like doing the looking at the guitar and stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, I saw the pickups and I didn't realize that you had put them up there as like it's a prototype. I'm like, oh, that dick, he didn't send me the multi, he didn't give me those pickups. And then I read on it says prototype. I'm like, oh, okay, I can't be mad at him.
yeah. I mean, it's still taking a lot of time, but you know, the guitars are kind of ready. We have at least samples now, but it took
Well,
some
with that
time,
the
you know.
electronics on that, how do you control them? Is it like a coil splitter, like little two-way switch, or do you have a multi?
You actually use the super switch of the Stratocaster. You know, so you have basically how many position on the
So
switch? You
like
have
five position?
five position, yeah. So
Yeah, this is
basically,
a three.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the plus you have like this. You can also switch to single coil, so you have double combinations as well. So it's very, you can do a lot. You can get a lot of different layers of tones. You know, it's crazy. The pickup is a little bit low output, which makes sense because making a pickup like that high output wouldn't make any sense because you wouldn't be able to hear the difference with the high distortion. You know, so it's more like for cleans, and you can get so many different combinations that suddenly it sounds like piezo sometimes. You know, sounds like an acoustic guitar. You know, so you have a lot of different layers of sound. You know, so I really look forward to introduce that at NAM. We're gonna have the guitar, which actually has been already introduced in the market in China. I was there 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw the pictures, but they are, you know,
No, you
around.
put up videos. I saw some of the videos.
Yes, it's in the video probably. Yes. So that was the first time I was trying to get the guitar. Is great and it feels very easy to play. And by the way, we have a tremolo bridge, which is called Vegatrem, which is a new company from Spain making bridges in Italy. You know, and so we have also that bridge there, which
Is it full floating? Is it like a
uh,
floating tremolo,
no, you mean
like
like
a Floyd Rose?
it's more like a regular tremolo, you know, like and this is but at the
So it's
same
not
time
routed out behind it. It's the back part's not
no,
routed out.
it's not, but
Okay.
it's almost like a Stratocaster kind of tremolo, but it's a completely
Okay.
different level, a completely different level, you know. When I mounted that on a guitar that I had before, because I tried it, I'm actually an artist for them, and they sent me the bridge, and I mounted by myself. Already having like the bridge on, the guitar was sounding in a completely different way, which is crazy, you know. And I'm talking about the sustain and all this, you know. So even
Also
though,
vibrato. When you're doing vibrato, it makes it a little easier.
yeah, and yeah, sustain wise as well, yes. And
Yeah.
so I because my thought was like, okay, let's try this tremolo, which I believe is very, very good and stuff. But even though without using tremolo bar, the sound was completely different, you know. So it was way brighter, you know, and you could hear every single string when you were strumming and all this. So so it was a no-brainer to have it on that guitar. So I really look forward to see what people think about it. You know, it's something very different. You know, the aesthetic of that is not that different, even though you can see the difference in the pickup because they are divided into two parts. I'm not sure aesthetically is awesome, so we thought about covering that with the cover, but at the same time, if you cover it, people don't see that it's a multi-output pickup, so it looks like a regular pickup, you know. So we are
Yeah.
still figuring out, so we will think about that before now, you know. Probably we are gonna have both the we're gonna have the MO with multi-out pickup and also with the regular pickup, you know, so people can just choose the one they want, you know, because you know it's not for everybody. For those who really are looking for something different, probably. You know. So
I just remembered something you said earlier. If we can go back, you said something about you didn't play with effects for a long time.
I didn't play
That actually
with.
without effects. You said when you were younger,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have. We were telling war stories about how it sucked to be young and penniless. you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I didn't. I
Um,
mean, I had the wah. I had the wah pedal. That was the only effect I used.
yeah, but it's like, but with when you learn how to play guitar, like truly learn music without relying on effects, it changes how you play your outlook on them. So that when you
Yeah.
do use effects, you use them a little more tasty. I had, I was a, oh shoot, man, it was like 6 years ago. It was my birthday, and we go up the street here, like 2 blocks away, and there was a little outdoor, deck kind of bar type thing, and these guys were playing really cool old cover tunes and all. And I met the two brothers. So I said, "Hey, man, can I get up and jam with you or something like that?" And it's my birthday, and all. They're like, "Sure." They hand me this guitar, and the action is like this. It's beat to hell. I go, man, I'm like 2 blocks away, dude. I'll be right back with my guitar. So I was like, do I take effects or not? And I'm like, well, they're not that kind of band. So I just grabbed a chord and left my overdrive or whatever pedal at the house and just whisked up the street with the guitar. And I get up there and I said, "Hey man, just put a little bit of reverb on. That'll be cool. Hook me up to the PA. All I need is reverb." So they, gave me a nice, choir hall kind of reverb, and it went from this like really chill cover tune band to a jam band. Then the only thing was I thought I was going to play like a couple songs. I ended up playing the third set with them, and they're like, "No, no, no!" And they touched my shoulder, pulled me back onto the stage, and they go, "Hey man, we'll tell you when to go." So I would just sit there and listen to them play, and they go get it, Hugh. So I start playing. Now, over in my line of sight, and I know you're going to relate with this, is you look in on the audience, and you get the one person that's not like, yay. They're like kind of,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm not playing for you. I'm going to look at, oh, there. Okay. I'm going to play for that dude that's smiling and losing his mind over here. And you're over here. There's a table of these big burly dudes, and they're all like, they look like, well, like lumberjacks or something, right? And I'm not getting any feedback from them. I don't see. They're just sitting there. I get done with the show, and I'm walking out after pick up all my stuff. And I'm walking down that ramp, going like, "Don't look at him. Don't make contact." This big dude, arms on him like this. He goes, "Hey, brother, I really enjoyed that." And I'm all of a sudden on cloud line, going, trying not to do a voice like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Thanks, man." And I told a buddy about that. He goes, "Dude, you didn't use effects? No, you're a bold man." I felt like an action hero or something. Like, what do you need? You need distortion? Not for what I was playing.
Okay, so you played with clean.
Yeah, I just played just reverb. It was playing bluesy stuff, where you just kind of going like, just doing some flourishes and stuff. And there's one woman kept dancing up in front of the guitar in front of me. So I'm doing, the stage thing, like holding the guitar up to her and, like her face. And I'm going in her face.
Yeah.
You got to
I mean,
have fun.
I use distortion, of course. I mean, if you.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I'm just saying that time it was
a
a funny story. I just thought I'd share a funny story. And you made me think of it when you said, "Yeah, I didn't have effects."
Yeah, I mean, I use distortion, and I use the wah, but I mean, I didn't use any reverb because the 5150 didn't have one, and I didn't use any delay or chorus or whatever. It was pretty dry, and I grew up like this actually, and I still nowadays I use a little bit of effect, but not that much. I mean, I have a delay here. That's my lead channel. And even though you can hear the delay and stuff, I mean,
God, that thing sounds good.
thank you. If you put it in a backing track, that delay kind of disappears, but it just make it more ambient-ish, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's okay
Yeah.
to have it.
Sets the mood.
But that's my lead channel. Usually I tend to have a little bit of effect, but not much. So. But there is actually an advantage in growing up and not using any effects. You just try to get the best out of your instrument, in terms of sound tone, so you develop your tone without distractions from chorus or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're playing sloppy. You'll know you're playing sloppy if you don't want effects running.
Yeah, I mean, you need to really
Yeah.
to get it sound
How
good,
did
you know.
how did you learn to work on, or like not just work on guitar, be a luthier? How did you become a luthier? Or like
Well,
when?
I'm not really a luthier actually. So I have professional people working for me. I do design of guitars, you know,
Okay.
and I try them, and then I come with suggestions about how to tweak them. But I'm not really a luthier. I mean, I can do setups and stuff like that, but I'm kind of limited. I never been, because being a luthier is actually a job, you know, and I consider myself like very deeply involved into music from a playing point of view and composition and all this, and I know stuff about guitars, but when it comes to build a guitar, I want a professional to do it.
Okay, so you're like the ideas slash money man. You make it
Yeah,
happen.
kind
The
of. Yeah,
production
yeah,
from the other end.
yeah.
Well, okay.
I try to
I
sorry.
thought that you were like the kind of guy that like was building guitars for another company and said, "I've had enough of this, and I'm gonna go build my own." So you started this from the scratch,
Yeah.
like you came out of the gate in Inspiria.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
it's a very long story, but I worked as an artist for for some companies. You know, I started out like
graphic artist.
no, just like a guitar player. You know, so
Oh,
I
artist
worked
like playing music.
play music. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So and I started with PV. So PV was the first company, and it was a blast because you know when I was a kid, I was always a 5150 PV guy. You know, so
Well,
suddenly,
PV's been around for a long time, man.
yeah,
I played on
so
PV guitars. My dad's friend had a PV he'd bring over and let me, make it sound horrible.
I
I
mean, for me,
didn't know what I was doing, but I liked it.
PV. I mean, I did I use any PV guitars? Yes, I did for a while, but I was more into amplifiers. So I was endorsed by them in the beginning with the amplifier, an amp that I have here, which is the JSX. Still have it here because I loved this amp. So when I quit working with PV, anyway, I kept this amp because that was great. And um, and then I got also some guitars from PV, yeah, but they were more like the new models. We're talking about like 2008, 2010 ish. So it was kind of recent in a way, and
Okay.
kind of, I mean, 15 years. But and then I did work with, and I'm still working with Randall amps. And
Wow.
I have been together with, I worked for Legator Guitars, which is an American company from Los Angeles, and I have been with them for probably 5 years. And then I started having this idea of making my signature model, and it didn't happen with them. But then there was another company in the beginning, a Chinese company that wanted to do a guitar for me, still as a guitar player, as an artist, you know. And we kind of developed the first DLP Inspiria model, which was not Inspiria at the time, was still another brand. And then we're talking about the COVID period. You know, there was the break of some
Yeah.
years,
The
and
lockdowns.
yeah, exactly. And then I lost a lot of contacts, you know. And but at the same time, during the lockdowns kind of stuff, I had way more extra time to write music, do videos, and design instruments. So suddenly in 2022, I had all those ideas about and all those prototypes that I actually worked on during the COVID years. That I was like, well, now it looks like we're kind of going back to normal. There is NAM happening in the NAM show is happening like 3 months from now, which was in the summer, almost in May or something like that at that time in 2022. And I was like, I lost a lot of contacts, but at the same time, I always had in the back of my mind this idea of starting my own brand for
Yeah.
several reasons. One of those was freedom in making my own designs. Just like because I mean, when you are in a big company, there is like PV or whatever. You are one of their artists, and it's a big company, and of course, business comes first. And like creativity comes second. You know, if you have an idea, cool idea that might, I mean, you maybe think is a very cool idea, but it's not that often that big companies they take develop that. You know, even though they might have
A
the
lot of big
resources.
companies lose touch. A lot of big
Yeah,
companies do lose touch with the customer. You know, they
yeah,
don't, they cater to one person, and then that group gets old. Like
yeah,
Harley Davidson's hating life because all those guys are not riding anymore. So they've cut out all the younger generations, the ones that don't like the big fat Harleys and stuff like that. They didn't
exactly.
play they didn't play the long game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same that actually happened with a lot of music companies. You know, that's why
Yeah, you're right about that.
and this is the change that is happening nowadays because a lot of artists they are starting their own brands, and there is a big difference when like a full-time guitar player for 30 plus years kind of decide to open a brand and experience in building the instruments that he believes are good instruments for playing music.
Yeah.
So it's not because it's not just business. There is like there is an artist behind that brand, which takes some choices, regarding like the kind of wood that he would like to have on the guitar, the kind of playability, the sound, the pickups, and all this. And I believe that the artists they have way more, they have like a taste which might be they are more into this, more into playing the guitar than selling the guitar, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah,
So and
so it's someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, this is how it plays. It doesn't just look good.
And they actually this resonates with a lot of artists in the same genre. Let's say, that's
Hmm.
why there are several artists now in heavy metal having guitar brands, and a lot of heavy metal uh, guys from the heavy metal community they are buying those instruments because the music is kind of similar, or at least they are looking in at the instrument like the perfect tool to express themselves. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So basically, in 2022, I decided to open the company, and 2 months after that, I was already at the NAM show, which was a risk.
Was that when you met Matt?
I
Was that the show you met Matt?
No, I think I met him in 2024, I think, or
Really?
2020.
That soon? That
I
close? I mean,
Let me see. I think it was 2024, but I'm
oh,
not sure because I have been at NAM
oh,
show now.
2025.
I mean, I have been at the NAM show since many years, but with the company, 2022, 2023, and 2022 it was in May. 2023 was in April. So, and then 2024 was in January. So everything was pretty close. So I'm kind of confused. But I think it might be 2024. But maybe we should ask him. Maybe he remembers better. My memory is not that good.
Well, he was just telling me about how you came by the booth or something like that, and that you heard some of his students playing.
I think some of his students they came by our booth, if I
It was
remember
by okay,
correctly. Yeah,
okay.
because I think he's having a booth this year actually at the NAM show.
Yes, I know. He's
Yeah,
excited about it.
are you gonna be are you gonna be there?
I can't this year. I've got some projects that I've just let. I also do DIY stuff at the house. I'm really good with my hands, and I have a lot of tools. And I've been putting off projects because I've put a lot of energy into playing guitar. Frankly, I was just like, I just don't. If the house ain't on fire, I just want to play guitar right now. It's been really. I don't know what the term is, like medicine for me, because I
Yeah,
was bummed a year ago. I got with.
it's like
Oh, sorry,
meditation.
good.
It's like
Yeah,
meditation.
it is.
Yeah,
It's cathartic. And Matt, actually, when I first got with him, I was just miserable. And every week now, I look forward to my lesson because it's with work and just things that are going on, whatever's going on. I can just disconnect my brain and just focus on playing the notes. And he's telling me about the show, and I was like, man, that'd be cool to go. But I'm like, man, I'm being wishy washy. That means I'm like, if I'm not like yes, then it's no. So because like if I can't justify it in my mind, and I've just let so many things go here, I got to get, and I don't want to because I want to play this more. But I've got a shed out back. I'm trying to get fixed up inside, get it put together so we can use it for storage. And it's in a state of build right now. And I've been looking at it all summer, and now I got on it the last couple weekends, and I'm trying not to kill myself because I don't want to injure myself and then not be able to play guitar, like cut my finger or something like that.
Yeah, well, if we talk about this, it's kind of funny because I agree with you, but at the same time, I play soccer. Even though I'm 45 years old, I play soccer in a team, and soccer is very dangerous when it comes to injure yourself.
Getting
I
injured,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, if it happens on the legs, it's okay. I mean, it's not that good, but when it happens on the hands, that's why.
Yeah, because you can fall and jam your finger, or if you connect with another player.
Yeah. So basically, usually 1 week before going on tour or whatever, I try to stay away from the football field, from the pitch, But but then it depends. I mean, I remember in 2020 I broke my arm, so I broke this arm here, and I never broke
Like
my
your
arm before.
forearm, like this part of your arm.
No, the first here.
Oh my god! Oh,
But but
ow!
but it, but it was I mean, it was a composed fracture, so it was not that bad. I mean, you couldn't really see that it was broken. I mean, you could see that it was kind of swollen here, but
Well, it's a clean
but
break.
yeah, exactly. But I had to wear the cast, you know,
Yeah, you got to
and
mobilize it.
yeah, and it never happened to me. So and I'm try to be very careful because playing guitar is very very important. So basically, for 1 week, I was kind of lost because I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, well,
Mm.
might be that this over. I always tend to think very catastrophic. But
You're not
but
alone.
yeah, yeah. But it was just 1 week, and then suddenly it was like, okay, I can practice with my left hand, just playing legato and stuff like that, which was okay for practicing. So you focus on legato and stuff, and then suddenly I found out, I had the cast until here, and then I had these parts of the fingers out from the cast, and I was like, and I'm not the finger picking kind of guy. Now probably I am because of that, but I was like, oh well, I can actually move those fingers, and in a way or another, I try to play with the cast here like this, and with the part of the finger. But I actually improved my finger picking because I never been good
Nice.
at finger picking. Yeah, so there is always a way to do it first, and second, you never know. Maybe it was supposed to happen, to first of all think like I need to be careful when I do that, and second, I actually use that at my advantage. But
Well, where
the
there's a
first
will, there's a way.
is I, it, but the first week I was very very concerned. I was like, man, I don't know, maybe now I'm screwed. So it's time to
Yeah,
take it easy.
depression. You got to stay out of your
Yeah,
head.
it was actually 1 week of depression. Yes, that's correct. So and I teach in
Ugh.
school. I teach guitar at school. So I talked to the principal and I was like, well, let me have 1 week off because I don't know what I'm gonna do now. So and then after 1 week, I figured this out and I went back to teaching. Everything was fine, and I had that for 5 weeks. And now everything is fine. I don't think I had any complications. But anyways, yes.
Well,
So
I don't see you having any problems playing.
well, but when you play for so many years, you always find a way. I think my playing changed along those years because your body changes. So you kind of I think I changed my playing a lot. In the last 32 years. I used to be way more technical before, probably. Now I'm more about composition, and I like playing with feel, and I think the tone should be at the center of this scenario. And so you change your behavior as a player. I think when you get older, which is not necessarily a bad thing at all. You know, I think it was important back in the day to be some kind of shredder, which I don't think I am anymore. You know, So everything, every time has you know its own course, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
So I just remembered I have another song that I'm kicking around. It's I don't know if I want to do vocals for it or not. Originally, I started to write vocals for it, and it was before I did Gin in the Bottle. Some of these ideas get uh, kind of like moving cards, shuffling card, the 3 card Monty. So this one was actually it's kind of a metal tune that changes
oh wow,
time signatures. Um, I just remembered it because I haven't worked on it in a while.
do you have the
If you
benefit
want to
of it?
hear, no, I'll just play the chord progression for you. And this was the lesson that Matt was trying to teach me to do
Nice.
arpeggios and change position. His point he was driving across was, hey man, you got to think of arpeggios like changing chords, and the same with scales. Don't
Yeah,
think of it like there's chords, there's scales, there's arpeggios. They're all the same. You move them
yeah.
just like a chord, and so it's just I'll just play a quick thing. It's I haven't played it in a while. Sorry. I don't remember how it goes. That does not sound right at all.
So the part was,
Thank you for the assist.
so it was a C, G,
it's A A. It ends on G. So it's A.
okay.
That's it.
You want to play some leads? I will try to remember the chord, the chords. That's right. I'm sorry. You said A. Can you say it again?
C, and then G
Yeah,
major.
I got
And
it.
then when I end it off, I go F, C.
I got it. I got it.
That's it. You're going on tour with me.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a band playing with you when you're gonna write some music?
That's a end goal. Around this area, it's hard to get people to get them together to play in the
Yes.
what do we call it, DMV and DC, Maryland, Virginia. And DMV is just like the bumper sticker says, welcome to Virginia. Expect delays. It's just everybody's just jet setting around here, and it's just hard to get people to get together and play. So
Well,
I got
that's
tired of it, and I was like,
everywhere, I guess. You know, if you want to do.
maybe that's I don't know everywhere. I just know here, but I do eventually want to put some players together. Guys that I knew that played, or I know them that I used to play with. They've moved away, so they're in other states or on the other side of the country now. But we used to get together and jam, and man, we could come up with some really cool stuff too. To the extent I wish I would have recorded it, because we would just make stuff up and the drumming and all, bassists doing some wild stuff. It was exciting back then. I really didn't appreciate it at the time. You don't think
Yeah.
about that until later on. You're like, damn, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different process, like writing music by yourself and arranging that with some other musicians. You know, nowadays we tend doing like, okay, you write the music, you send to a drummer, the drummer record the drums, send it back to you, which is okay. Or like I did in my last album, I just recorded everything by myself. But back in the day when we were writing in the rehearsal space was completely different because there was way more. Uh, I mean, I felt that you were way more in the moment in a way, and you had like concentration at the moment, and you
True.
were getting so many inputs all the time, and sometimes just like
That's
something
what I was
would
going to
go,
say.
yeah, something would
That's
go
exactly what I was
completely
going to say.
wrong. Suddenly
The
would make
interaction.
the difference. Yeah, the interaction is.
Yeah, when somebody goes, "Hey, do that again." What was that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe it was something wrong, but that something wrong was actually the key to move forward. So everything
Which
started.
well, I forget what the band is. The one that goes, and the guy goes, "Wah!" That
It's
has that.
disturbed.
No, it's is it Slipknot or something? It's like,
Disturbed.
dang. The chords go like this. It's something. It's like where the guy's going. He's going.
Yeah, I got you. It's corn.
No, no,
It's
he's going.
corn.
No, that's the wrong one. He was going.
Yeah, yeah. It's corn. The name of the
Corn.
band is corn. Yeah, yeah. They play
Yeah,
with
he
corn.
came in the studio one time and he just gets in the mic and starts going, and the guitarist is like, "What the hell was that?" So
I remember that
when
song.
the
Yes.
when the guitarist heard him do it, he was like, "What the hell was that?" He goes, "I don't know. I was just kidding around." He goes, "Do it again, do it again." So he was
Yeah.
doing that in the mic, and the guitarist is doing like some kind of. He started coming up with this little intro part for it. So if you listen to the beginning of it, it has this weird guitar part that's like, I don't know if it's harmonic minor or whatever, or some kind of. It sounds very dissonant. But it just had me laughing that the dude was just like, what possessed him to do that?
Well, that's creativity.
Have you had any of those? Actually, that's a good point. In the studio, have you had any flubs that you left in,
If I
like
have what?
mistakes? We call them flubs, like something
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Well, yeah, I think it happens all the time actually. But
No, I mean, have
sometimes,
you personally done something that you're like, hey, that sounds cool. I'm gonna leave that in there.
yeah, I do. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Yes,
Yeah.
it's the beauty of it. Sometimes you like you feel you didn't really want to go there, but something is driving you there. Maybe you play a note which you didn't plan, but then you change the whole idea because of that. So yes, it's a happy accident, probably. Yes.
I was just curious. I actually look up a lot of music history, and I love these stories about how people arrived at their ideas. How an idea came to be. I got a lot of those stories floating around my head, and I pick people's brains when I hear it. Like,
Yeah,
how did you do that?
usually with me it works like I start with an idea and then suddenly I go in a completely different direction, which is way more interesting. So which has nothing to do with the first idea at all. But the first idea, I needed that in order to get started, and then I just throw it in the garbage and then just move to something else. So it's very typical of me, actually. Which
Well, if it's a
makes
good idea, it'll stay in your head.
yeah,
If it's
yeah, but
if it's
yeah. sometimes maybe you want to study, a technique or whatever. You write something, a riff or whatever it is, and because you see somebody else doing that, and then you start working around that, and then you land somewhere else, and you just, But that was a good way to get started, probably. Yeah. So
when I
you know what?
when I was
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when I was recording that video for the gin in the bottle, the one I sent you, um, Matt had cleared his schedule for the whole day, and he comes over and he's expecting to be here all day. And I did what he said, black out the basement. So I blacked out the basement. He brought lights over, all this stuff, and we did 3 takes. And the third take, he's like, "All right, let's unplug. I'm gonna listen to it, just nothing on. Put it on my phone." And he sits down and he goes, and I thought the guitar sounded funny, and I thought we had a good take. And Matt goes, "Sorry about that."
That was a cool riff, by the way.
That's me.
Yeah.
I recorded that phone. That's one of my ideas that
So-
I put on the phone. Anyways,
so
Matt comes over and he says, "Oh, is there something wrong with your guitar?" And I go, "Doo-doo." I'm like, dude, I thought we had a good take. My guitar's out of tune." Matt's just laughing at me. "Tune your guitar. Let's do it again." So point is, we thought it was gonna be all day. It ended up being an hour and a half. He was ready to go to lunch. He was happy as hell. So that's a good little story about making that video.
So when you recorded, you guys were in the same room, because I know you have lessons over the internet, but probably maybe you live close or in the same area.
No, Matt's about, oh man, he's probably about 45 minutes away.
Okay, well, that's okay.
But driving around here, you ever notice you go to some place and you go, "How far away is it?" And someone will say 5 miles. And you say someone who lives in a city, they'll go, "It'll take you 45 minutes," instead of saying 5 miles. They tell you the time it'll take you to get here, not the distance.
Yeah.
I find that funny.
Yeah, maybe there is traffic and stuff like that. But yeah, so you were in the same room and you did that together. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came over. I was having trouble videotaping it. And since then, I've bought a better video camera, and I'm learning the lighting. This goes back to what you were saying about, like, you got to worry about where the lights are, and then you hit record, and then you forget that you didn't turn this on,
Yeah.
So Matt was really talking me off the ledge, if you will.
Yeah, it's always good to be 2 people doing that, it's at least. And but usually I'm alone doing that. And as I told you the latest time, playing is the last thing. Would be the first one. It's supposed to be the most important thing. That's why you're doing the video, right? But for me, it ended up being the last thing, So because the lights, the audio interface, the sound, whatever it is, you name it. But and then,
Well, do you ever fight being inspired? Do you ever fight like you get doing something and you just, like, all of a sudden you don't feel inspired to do something because you have to do so much work to get to the point?
Yeah. Well, inspiration for me is very important when I write music, more than when I perform it. But yes,
Okay.
I think there is a point there, because I think when I actually do think that if I'm just playing, which means sitting with my guitar and just playing, is a completely different thing than making a video, which is where I told you playing the guitar is the last thing. The cool thing is that usually when I do a video, I have a personal way of doing that. I loop the track, so I play it several times. So the first time is gonna sound like shit because I'm stressed because I didn't turn the light at the end of the room or whatever. And so, anyways, I loop it many times. So after a while, I kind of managed to focus enough in order to play it correctly, and maybe with the right feel, which is the most important thing. But that's why usually when I compose music, I just want to compose music. I don't think about cameras and stuff like that. I just need to be completely free from this kind of stressful environment, because I mean, I don't know how. I'm not. I do a lot of videos, but if you ask me, do you enjoy making videos? I enjoy making videos after I'm done and I put it on YouTube. So I'm like, okay, this is what I did in the last couple of days, which is cool. I can be now proud of myself, but when I do it, it's a lot of stressing. I don't know what you think. Being two is good because then you focus on the guitar. It's more enjoyable, you know, because you share it with somebody else. You know, it's not just you in the room and stuff like that. I think, which sometimes happens. You know, I have some assistants
Well,
sometimes.
it was a big help when Matt did that
Mm.
to help me record because it was driving me nuts because
Yeah.
I never did recording or anything like that stuff. I had a 4-track back in the 80s, like 89. I bought I'm going to get a 4-track and I'm going to record. I couldn't figure out how to get the thing to work. It didn't have a manual.
Mm.
And it was a little, the little Tascam ported one with the Maxell tape, like the old cassette tapes and all that.
Yeah.
And I made so many mistakes on that thing. I didn't, it couldn't blank out stuff because it was analog. So it just, over the years, it was like there was nobody I knew really who could tutor me in it. Didn't have parents that would pay for any students and stuff like that. So I pretty much did everything with the shoestring budget.
Yeah, it's
And
very important to get some help, and but it's all based on trial and error. So you know,
you're right. Yeah.
you always make mistakes in the beginning. So I did that now since 2003. So how many years is that? 22. I think I'm pretty okay now doing recording, production, and stuff like that. But it has been a long journey. You know, if I look back, it was not that good. But it's you need to have the experience. You know, you need to do it the most you can in order to. You know, in the beginning, you don't even recognize the mistakes you make. You know, but
Did you have someone helping you with recording when you first started?
yes,
Yeah, you're lucky.
I have been in in a band for 20 years. You know, so being in a professional band, so we were living together. So we were all working towards a common goal. You know, and
Okay.
you know. When you are like five people in a band, there is the guy who is good with promotion. There is the guy who is good with writing, the guy who is good with production and stuff like that. So you learn from all those guys, you know. So that's the main thing of being in a band. You know? So so I got started like this because believe it or not, like I told you last week, I'm not a technical guy at all. But I somehow I can produce music, which is good. You know, I can make
Yeah.
videos because I learned how to do it. It's still a work in progress. It gets better, you know. And then you buy some new gear. You know you learn how to use it and all this. Uh,
Yeah, it was like with music theory. You don't have to know every bit of music theory.
exactly.
Well, I think the only person who would be that would be a conductor of an orchestra, because I think
Yeah.
was they know every instrument. They may not play every instrument, but they know how every instrument is supposed to sound. So I imagine that guy's theory is straight on, like dead on. But
Yeah.
I just learn enough to, because we like guitarists, we don't have to worry about inversions. Inversions are more for piano or horns, so that they're not stepping on your notes.
Exactly.
You know,
But I always
if
tell.
I said that right.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell to my students that I mean, you need to know where you're going with your music because, of course, I think knowing that theory for me it was important, you know, learning the theory, but I didn't really have to learn everything, just the things that I thought they were useful for music, improvising, you know, the relations between the chords and the scales, you know, arpeggios and all this, you know, and then I can also read, but I'm not a great reader, which is okay because in my
Oh,
world,
sight reading, yeah.
yeah, sight reading.
Sight readers, that's piano. It's like piano and
Ah,
horns. Again, horns, because they don't have tablature for them.
yeah. I mean, we always make the joke. I don't know if you do it in the U.S., but in Italy we make the joke that the guitar players are not good readers at all, but the piano players are great readers. So if you don't want a guitar player to play, you just need to put the paper in front of him, and if you want a piano player not to play, you just need to take it off from him, and they, you know, I don't know
I've
if
never
you
heard
heard
that.
that.
I never heard that
Yeah,
before. That's awesome.
that's
That's
that's what
awesome.
they say in Italy. You know, when I was at the music college, because
If you want him to stop playing,
because
pull the sheet music.
Rock guitar players, we were not good readers at all, you know. But at the end of the day, I prefer to be a bad reader compared to be somebody who cannot play anything if he doesn't have it written down.
Yeah, sheet music.
Yeah. Say that. When I played the song with you, I wrote the chorus down.
Well, when you were playing earlier, we were messing around. The Dark Side of the Moon, or what was it? Or comfortably numb.
Yeah.
Comfortably numb. I kept forgetting to put the B minor in there because I couldn't hear. Because your guitar it's got a fat sound, and I was like, I don't want to turn my amp up too much, or my pedal up. But I couldn't hear, so I kept missing the B minor.
I was thinking like this. Let's to wrap it up. We can play that improvisation that we played before during the sound check, and then I think we can wrap it. We can wrap it up this way. What do you think?
Well, you want to do something bluesy, some kind of 12-bar blues kind of thing?
Yeah, we can try, even though having a delay on the internet would be difficult, but we can try with which key?
Let's see.
I'm not the blues guy. I'm not the blues guy.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh no, you said your dad played blues.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I made a mistake.
I'm okay with that. That's right. Which key?
I'll lay. Let's see. Let me think of something real quick here. I'm trying to think of something. Well, let me go clean. And it was what was it? It was, what was that one? Was it? What was the chord set again? It was G or?
We can play the blues, no problem. Play blues, 12-bar blues. Let's do it.
That's good. Key of G. I'll do 12-bar. Oh, we got all delayed. I think we broke the internet. We broke the internet. You were playing too fast.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Cool.
Man, you're keeping your neighbors up.
Well, it's actually the first time I managed to play something over the internet with actually a bit, because usually you have so much delay that. But now it sounds pretty good, I think. I mean, except for
man,
before.
You took me back so many years. I have to thank you. That felt really good to blow it out, man. That was awesome.
Thank you for doing this. Hopefully,
and also wanted to thank you too for the opportunity to be one of your artists. And I'm looking forward to breaking loose this log jam and start get you some videos up there.
My pleasure, and hopefully one day we can meet. Maybe at the next NAM show. Maybe you can play at our booth. So we can. It would be great to meet in person. And
Yeah, we'll circle around right back around to that. I was going to hit you up about it.
Yeah, it's.
So I'll send you an email or something.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time, and it's a small world, the one of music. So I think we're gonna have the chance to meet in person several times, hopefully.
I look forward to it.
Thank you very much to you. Thank you very much to everybody who followed us, and of course, this this video is going to be streamed on for the next couple of days as well, so people can watch it afterwards. And you have a great weekend, and I talk
You as
to
well.
soon.
All right, take care of yourself.
Cheers.
Night, everybody.